How do you find someone who is being sold in the dark web as a safe slave?
Okay, so I mean, this is more cybercrime division. We use some software like a facial recognition. Okay, so you can understand as soon as they got potential products, because they call product, but they're human beings, they're young girls. They are going to promote them. So they're selling the girls or the boy, depends. They can sell it one shot to another group, another crime organized, or they can promote and try to advertise the sex services with this person. Why I want to uncover the truth.
So, welcome back to episode number 10. We are back, and this promised to be an incredible episode that is overdue and promise. Is Missing People Part 2, and I'm with Victor Alves, Private Investigator of South Florida and the world.
Nice to see you guys, and happy to be moving forward with this episode 2, because we have a lot to talk about, human trafficking, missing person, and it's something that everybody's talking about lately. It's all over the news. There is a lot of stuff going on, unfortunately.
Great. Where have you been?
Been working.
People have been asking for you.
Yeah, a lot of work. It's been a busy month, for
Awesome.
sure.
Awesome. So last episode, we talk about, in part 1, we talk about the importance of controlling the communication with your child at all time.
Yes, it's very important, because unfortunately a lot of children are target of sex predator, human trafficking. It's growing. I mean, in this age range, it's growing. I mean, they are targeting a lot of teenager, young children for different kind of reason. Okay, and that's why, as a parent, it's a must. It's a must to monitor the online activity of your children, because it's not only social media, it's also video game platforms. They are definitely chasing on those platforms. Okay, we have a lot of data on that with law enforcement.
Yeah, that's a key word, chasing.
Chasing, yeah.
How are they chased? How the victims are chased?
Well, I mean, they usually targeting children or teenager with problems at home. Okay, so they are more easy target for them. They are more able to manipulate them. So a lot of kids are having issues at that age. They are conflicting with their parents. They're not happy. Sometimes inside the family, parents are getting divorced. They're fighting. So there is a lot of easy way for the child to try to run away from his family. Okay. Fortunately, communication is the key to get everybody together. But a lot of time there is no communication.
But even with communication, you mentioned the other day something very important. You talk about predators looking into bonding, replacing the bonding that has to happen with the kids. Mm-hmm. So this is a crime organized group that they understand psychology. They understand the targets that they are targeting.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. So there's many things. Like, for example, they're going to target young girls, okay? Because they can see through communication they have issue with the mom. So they ask very specific, the mom and the dad. They ask specific question. kids, oh, my parent this, my parents that. And then they see they have a match here to go after. And they are going to explore those weaknesses. And they're going to, little by little, attract these young girls outside of communication. They're going to start meeting. They're going to mirror a lot of stuff that the kids are looking for, okay? Like gift, shopping, money, nice car, going out, etc. So, and then they're going to start to take them out, little by little. And at one point, they're going to kidnap them. That's how it works. Unfortunately, they're going to even drug them. Then on the drugs, after that, they're going to have to prostitute themselves. It's a business for them. And obviously, the only happiness for those kids is to get the drugs that they're waiting for, and they're going to prostitute themselves maybe 20 times a day with different men in different places. They're going to be advertised online. There is so many advertisement. They're going to be advertised or even sold on the dark web. So it's very scary situation, okay? And people don't realize. They think that it can happen only from certain classes of people, but it's not true. It touches everybody. They don't go by, of course, they're going to go after more problematic kids. They have issues with family and they have more with no supervision, okay? So they can be manipulated. But it touches everybody.
There are different dimensions that you're covering in just these 3 minutes that you just spoke, okay? You are talking about the unfortunate habit that they develop through the drugs that they are, that they put on them so that they can continue performing and doing the sex slavery thing. And then you also talk about why these guys are in the business, because all the profits goes to them.
Of course.
The victim is just sadly, very sadly, used up to the point that they die.
They die, or they are when they don't need it anymore because they are too damages. They have too much problems. The body doesn't respond anymore. They kill them. They disappear. Unfortunately, they unalive them. And that's how people disappear. And you go to Walmart, Walgreens, Publix, different supermarkets. If you walk around the customer service base, you can see a board with flyers of missing children, missing person, missing. It's very scary. It's alarming to see this kind of things.
I was going to ask you statistics. How many people, do you have any idea how many people have died as a sex slave?
I don't have the numbers. I cannot throw the numbers right now, but it's huge. It's huge. Just in the United States, human trafficking for teenagers represent approximately almost 30% of the 100% worldwide exploitation. So it's happening here. 30%, it's a very big number, okay? The biggest number is Central America, South America, the Latin and Caribbean territory, okay? And those kids are trafficked all over the world, which means they be sent all over the world. I don't know. Everybody was talking about a movie came up not too long ago. It was produced by this Australian actor.
Which one is it? There's so many.
No, the freedom of sense, something like that.
I got to check on that.
Yeah.
Now that you're mentioning, I will look into it.
Huge movie about human trafficking for kids. So the producer, they had a producer from I think Argentinian guy, very good. And it is based on the true story of an ex-DEA agent who was working and for the federal government. And then at one point he stopped working with them and he started, helping children and, human trafficking between Mexico, between Haiti, Haitian, between everywhere. So he was running everywhere and looking, and he was using his own money. And for him, it was not something that he was looking to make money. He was doing something, he said it was more like God told him to do that, It was like a crusade, like going for a crusade, looking to help those children and those family. And Freedom of Sense, something like this. It's a great movie. I saw it, and you got to be ready to see that movie.
It has to be very shocking. So the other thing that you also mentioned is that not only these predators, they break on bonding, but they also take an opportunity when there are natural disasters or situations that are nature driven.
Yes.
So the kids that are left alone, teenagers that are left alone, they are sent to foster houses in places or even roam on the street.
It's not really they're targeting where there is natural catastrophe and war. Okay. War, it's even worse because first everybody's all over the place when there is a war, like Ukraine, like half of Ukraine was destroyed, and family and children were separated from the family, and then they have those group to help and get those kids, and those kids being taken away from somewhere and get lost in the nature, and you end up to have a huge human trafficking for children and other people. I mean, it doesn't have to be children. There is labored slavery, like they use people to work for free. So it's also the same thing. So they use, like after a hurricane, for example, in Haiti, after a earthquake, the big catastrophe, thousands of children disappear. Nobody knows where they are. So it's all over the place. It's any war or any civil war in Africa, for example. There is a lot of country, those pays, like talking about Rwanda. There is a lot of fight between tribes and this and that, and people are always trying to get the kids and the women and human trafficking. That's how it works, unfortunately. And we don't know because we live in a nice country with laws, with police, with protection, with everything, but we don't know how tough is the rest of the world,
We're privileged.
Yeah, we are privileged.
Yes.
We are privileged, and people have tendency to forget about it.
But let's not forget also that even if we are privileged, of course, we have to understand that there are alarming statistics in the United States about sex slavery and labor slavery, because it's two types of trafficking people for labor and for sex.
Yeah, so labored slavery, it's bigger than sex trafficking. It's about 60% of the human trafficking. It's labored, and the rest it's sex trafficking and children and women. Okay, and young boy too, but much less. I have statistic here. We can talk about number.
Sure.
It's very impressive. And that was from last year, 2024, approximately, because that's what we know. That's what we find out.
That's a great point.
And that's a lot of stuff are not shared all over the world. They're not going to share missing people from a small village in Africa. I mean, they might do 1, 2, but they're going to miss maybe, I don't know how many. So those numbers, they are most likely to be much bigger in reality. Okay, because that's what we discover. That's what we know.
Let me ask you this question. How, as a private investigator, with the cybercrime unit that you work with and all the connections that you have on Miami PD and different kinds of police departments, how is it that you are helping expedite the possibility to find a missing person?
Well, first, we are like all my staff and people that I work with and myself. We are ex-law enforcement, so we speak the same language. We know how to talk to them. Secondly, I have a lot of great connection in different police department and federal agency as well. So it's not like they're gonna do more for me than others. Not the case, but I know how to knock at the right door. So that's a very big shortcut already. Okay, so we can definitely take the problem faster and go right to the point. All right.
As a private investigator, there must be a lot of pressure on you. You, on one hand, you are handling the coordination and the management of the crisis. On the other hand, you dealing with the psychology and the pressure of the victim or the parents
or for a family member. Yeah, of course. I'm the guy in the between two hammers. Okay, the first hammer is to deal with the anxiety of the client. Okay, because it's very emotional. It's a crisis management. Sometimes it's their children. Sometimes it's their brother, sister, mother, father. So it's very difficult. Those people are under pressure, under anxiety. So this is something I have to deal with. Okay. So we do a lot of psychology. I mean,
you must.
We are like private investigator, but we do a lot of therapy. We're not licensed therapists or whatever. But point is, we are listening people. So
it's very important.
It's very important. Secondly, we have to deal with the operation. So looking for someone is not something easy. It's not something that we always do behind the desk. We always help. I mean, he helped today with technology, but we have to put some boots on the ground. We have to have people. We have to start to print flyers. We have to go and use common sense. We have to think out of the box. We have to put ourselves in the same shoes of the missing person. Okay, so this is kind of something that we have to learn how to do. And then we have the pressure. Time is running against us, of course.
I got a very important question now. I don't want to forget it. How do you find someone? This is very important. How do you find someone who is being sold in the dark web as a safe slave?
Okay, so I mean, this is more cybercrime division. We use some software like a facial recognition. Okay, so you can understand, as soon as they got a potential products, because they call product, but they're human being, they're young girls, they are going to promote them. So they're selling the girls or the boy, depends. They can sell it one shot to another group, another crime organized, or they can promote and try to advertise the sex services with this person. So they have to take photos. They have to put ads. They have things done on the dark web, okay? Because all human trafficking, it's exposed to the basic web as well. You can find so many websites on the regular web that they are promoting prostitution, okay? It's illegal, but it's still doing it. That's something I I never understand why, if it's prostitution is illegal, they allow
Correct.
website on the regular web to be advertising for sex.
I am so glad that you're bringing this point. There are websites that they promote video shots and women and men naked and even doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but this is not adult website. I mean, there is some adult website you can go. I'm not going to name any names, okay? But there is adult website. There people are going there just to meet other people to have sex. It's not a dating site. Well, this is for adult. And they do whatever they want. Okay, they have swing people, swing clubs, those things. This is a lifestyle that some people have and choose. It's fine. I mean, as long as it's done with consentment, as long as it's done with no underage person, it's fine. I mean, everybody does whatever they want. I mean, there's no crime on that. The only problem that I see, there is some not porn. It's not a pornographic website. It's a prostitution website. And it's legal. They have, I'm not going to name them. We know them because we look for missing person. So the first thing we do, we look and we screen those ads, okay? And a lot of time we find them there, okay?
Wow.
And then we start working with law enforcement. We do undercover. We try to book a session with that person. So there is so many things. Like, how come if I go and I look for escort and I find prostitution website here in Hollywood, in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, it's all over the place.
Correct.
How come this is allowed? You understand?
That's a great question.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, but it happens.
And then you have the police department. They do sting operation. They have, I think it here. Look, we are based in Federal Highway in Hollywood. So Federal Highway, it's busy. There's a lot of traffic. I see a lot of girls doing prostitution a lot of times here in Hollywood. And I saw undercover police officer doing this here. Okay? They're young girls working dressed like prostitute, and it's like they're fishing. So now soliciting prostitution, it's a felony. So what they do, the police is setting some trap, putting some girls on the sidewalk and trapping other men, which they are predator, okay? They are, okay? They're looking for sex, all right? And they exchange money for sex. So I had clients calling me because they got arrested, soliciting, and they wanted to investigate and this and that. I say, there's nothing I can do. You're committing a crime. You got trapped by the police. Now it's up to you to take a good lawyer, go to court, and prove that you were trapped. I mean, this is not. The police do that to protect the people, and I don't blame them. It's fine, but it's like a trap. Okay, so it's not like they are cutting a man with a prostitute in an hotel. That's different. But the female who's soliciting men in the street, she's a police officer. I don't know if it's something a little special, but it's good because a lot of time they grab a lot of predator. Huh? So it's something. And you see those people on the street doing prostitution. I see it all the time, okay? But it's up to you, to do not go and try to do anything with those people. But it's everywhere, and it's tolerated. Like it's illegal, but it's tolerated. They tolerated that, And it's the same thing with the web. the web is even worse because you don't need to go anywhere. You just go in front of your computer and you can choose and book something, and that's it. It's prostitution.
Okay, we have
It's all managed by crime organized.
Got it.